Good morning, Alex Cox.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Good.
You seem well.
I am well. It's early here.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that something our listeners should know about?
I think so. I hope they're excited.
It's a great way to start the show. Why don't you go ahead and introduce the time?
Hi, everybody. It's 8:38 a.m. Pacific and 10:38 a.m. Central.
The way that every classic podcast episode begins by telling you what time it is.
I do sometimes kind of would like a genre of show that just pulls you to a different place.
I like a genre of
time.
show that starts on time.
Yeah. I'd like a genre of show that starts the day, the time, and a day.
Well, we can't ask for everything, can we?
We can try. I think, What's your favorite thing to ask for?
In what sense?
Don't think. No, don't think. First thought, best thought.
About what? My first thing to ask for about what?
About anything.
A glass of water.
That's such a good answer. Ice or no
What the
ice?
fuck are you talking about? What is the question you're asking me? Is this a bit? What is this? Are you coming in with bits? You're 8 minutes late and you have bits?
No.
You're 22 hours late and you have bits?
20, I was going to say, 8 minutes is such a generous time.
No, but this is now, we're really getting our teeth into it. Okay, what do you ask for? What does that mean, Alex? Is this something you've been thinking about?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? Especially, like I made fun of you about how I had never heard the term ask used as a noun, but boy oh boy is it ever around.
Oh yeah.
So I just keep thinking, what is my ask? What is my ask?
And what does that have to do with what we're doing now?
Oh, because you said you can't ask for everything, and I disagreed. And I was wondering what's your ask? What's your first ask? What's your priority ask?
I would like to think that I rarely ask for, quote, everything, unquote.
Not all at once. That's just not practical.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm writing it down. It's going to be one of those episodes. I don't know. It's difficult to say. It's very contextual. It's a fascinating question. Alex, what do you like, apart from everything, what do you like to ask for?
A diet cherry Coke with ice.
Why don't you just buy some of those?
They're very hard to find. Yeah, that's why I asked.
Don't people your age love waiting in line for things? Isn't that part of your USP?
People my age loved that about a decade ago, I think. Yeah.
But now you're 10 years older and you seem to still like it, a lot of you.
No. I don't think so, but I am hopefully not a caricature.
What would you like to
of a
talk about
millennial.
today, Alex? You want to talk more about your asks?
Oh, I mean, I'm excited to talk about the challenge. But
According to Beacon Rewind, she said something, because I am interested in how we take a part of speech and then adapt it, sometimes in an interesting way, to be a different part of speech. And I'm not going to track this down, but something that Beacon Rewind said in a video, it was about Hitchcock blondes.
Oh.
And which is I'd watched before, but I just rewatched. And I mean, like, he's even, I think, used that term, the way that he uses blonde actresses in his movies. And, she said something along the lines of wasn't until the 30s or 40s, maybe, that up till then, blonde had only ever been used as an adjective. And it was in that time that we first started using blonde as a noun. And I thought that was interesting.
Huh.
I'd never put it together that probably started as, I never really sat down and thought about it. I was like, I guess that makes sense.
It has a less wholesome beginning than I would have thought. I suppose I didn't
Describing
know that.
the color of an actor's hair?
I didn't know that Hitchcock himself used the term like those are my blondes. It feels like only Trudy Capote could
That's
say.
not how he said it. He didn't use that voice.
Well,
He would have very long and detailed interviews explaining how he cast and then was very particular about how people were arranged.
I know. Do you ever think, though, like when a director, especially Kubrick, because I just enjoy him talking, so not even necessarily in interviews, but when he's talking to his cast and crew, and I'm like, is that the voice you use at home? Is that like, some of them must have had a really
I think you could ask that of somebody
I
who
don't
like
know.
manages a Walmart too, though.
Huh.
Well, I'm
I
sorry.
think
Do you think there are a lot?
that's an ask. I should go the next time I'm in a Walmart and say, excuse me.
Right.
The way
Would you
they
have been
use-
so unkind to Shelley Duvall? Yeah, I don't
I
know.
hope not.
But it strikes me that probably most people have a form of code switching where they speak differently at their work than they do at home. But I don't have a job, so I don't know.
I just,
Now, with that said, I have met a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, like for example, on Somebody Somewhere, you take the woman who like in the first episode is managing the office where Sampire works, and like she becomes more of a character later on, and like you get these characters who are like, oh, I've worked with people like that. I've worked with people who are like that at work, and then you meet them outside of work, and they're really different. And not different in like hey, it's exactly the opposite. They're a party animal, but it's like no, they have a whole different way they interact with people than the way they do at work. And I've known a lot of people who were kind of jerks. They were work jerks in some ways, but like outside they would seem pretty cool. And it was always kind of hard in my mind because I'm simple and from the Midwest. It always seemed kind of hard to square that in my head.
I am actually surprised by that. More not because of a Midwest
Which part are you
thing,
surprised
but
about?
all of that. That you hadn't realized that that's a very common thing, and I guess
Well, if you
pleasantly
only get to
surprised that
see
you did not
one-
feel the need
Okay.
to code switch and not feel the need to be an asshole at work because, I mean, I can't. I don't want people to get mad, but yeah, I find it much easier to code switch around different people, and it is great. I think it's obvious now, maybe in the year 2026, what a good defense mechanism it is, and how it's a lot easier
You think
for
it's a
other
defense
people.
mechanism to code switch?
Oh, for a lot of people, yeah.
Did it ever occur to you that both sides of the conversation are code switching?
But yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That makes it worse.
I mean, I would not want to say that code switching is something that only the oppressed peoples do in life.
Oh, no. The majority of people I suppose who have seen, like actually physically seen code switch, are, I mean, I do not know their oppression status, but like just peers either trying to prove something or not even necessarily trying to gain an amount of power, but sometimes trying to downplay their power to appease their boss. It is a weird thing that it's not that I enjoy watching it. I do miss watching it a little bit. It's kind of like
Talking about somebody who comes in, like you're talking about like a queer person at a job, or like a black person at a job. What are you talking about?
like literally
Okay. I just don't know. Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Starbucks. Let's say go, I suppose, an extreme opposite route. A grad, like someone who has a master's degree, but his boss is a self-conscious kid who's trying to be like the manager. By boss, I mean like the supervisor.
He's
And
probably a dumb guy. No, I mean, in my class, capital D, capital G. Like one of those guys who's trying to sound like he's smart, but it just makes him sound dumb. One of those people who
no.
says things like that's a big ask.
But he'll do like a not make himself dumb,
To
but
sound
I suppose
more earthy,
intentionally
more like
humble
down to
himself.
earth. Okay.
Yeah, and some people can do that well, and some people it's a how do you do, fellow kids, and it makes everybody uncomfortable. It's a very boring Attenborough movie that I like seeing out in the real world, and sometimes it is an exercise in
Attenborough?
empathy. Chattenborough? David?
No, sorry, which Attenborough? Are you talking about the guy who does documentaries or the actor in Jurassic Park?
The guy who does documentaries.
Okay, got it. Yeah, he just turned 100. Just turned 100. Still working. Still kicking. Can't be long now.
I don't trust any I don't trust your bits. I don't trust media bits. Like they keep saying things about pop culture and celebrities, about the the real estate financier, Jeffrey Epstein, and then David Attenborough. I don't actually know how old David Attenborough could be a
What's
spry
happening right now?
80.
Wait, what are you talking about? You don't trust my bits or the media's bits?
You were
Should I just
referencing
ignore
a
the insane
Believe?
things you say today since it's going to be one of those episodes?
No,
I'll just keep
I
agreeing
believe
with you and trying to build it up.
you were.
Would that be better? Every time I try to find some basis in reality, you take it back to a place that makes me extremely confused.
The UK, SNL UK bit
No,
you
it's
just
WeK.
quoted.
There's no I in UK. There's an I in UKIP. Selfish Paul Nuttall.
Yes. How old is David Attenborough?
How old is David Attenborough?
David Attenborough. Yep. Well, thought I could spell it. Nope. Just like decorous, cannot spell it. Well, I know he was born in 1954, so oh God, yes, 100. That is actually yes.
I know he was born in 1954.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Now make him 100 now?
Nope. That would be that.
Hey,
So
Alex.
I did some
Alex,
math.
you know what? I got a good
1926.
idea. Let's go ahead and how about you do your intro?
Thank you. This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge: find or make something that fits perfectly in your hand. I heard a little snort while I was saying that. What was that snort for?
Nothing. And that was the challenge this week, and you were excited about this one. So let's just get straight into it, Alex. You're somebody who likes having something that fits in their hand.
I love things that fit in my hand. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you should talk
happen
about that.
often. Since 2014, I haven't had a phone that fits in my hand. I won't shut up about it. It makes me annoyed almost every single day. It's something I want to
Can you
let
get
go
some
of.
besides a phone that fits in your hand?
Yes, and that's why I get really excited now, because the one thing I hold the most, it just won't. It won't fit. I tried. Here's the
You're talking
closest
about
I've
the
gotten.
iPhone. The telephone iPhone doesn't fit in your hand since 2014. Can you buy it in a different size?
I, for almost a year, used a phone I have right here.
Right.
Feel that click? Oh, it sounds so good.
I don't feel
it's-
it, but I can hear it.
But the ears are the fingers of the head.
Fingers are the windows of the eyes.
That sounds like a real quote.
It's because I said it with confidence.
Yeah, good job.
Audacity.
The Pixel 4, one of Google's phones, it's light pink. It is a tiny bit tiny bit bigger. That's a terrible sentence.
Is today a good day for you
Tiny
to
bit.
do this, or should we do this a different day?
I just like the phrase. I'm like, oh, it's a tiny bit bigger.
Yeah,
A
so the Google
tiny
Pixel,
bit
is that a
bigger.
that's a recent phone of theirs that's
No.
little? Is it one? Okay.
No, it is an Pixel 4, and it runs a mobile OS called Post OS that specifically is meant for phones that are almost a decade old.
Oh, wow.
So, yep, the camera really doesn't work, and I don't use it very often, but it fits perfectly in my hand.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know, I just find something very satisfying. Actually, especially after you and Max didn't quite get me into knives, but I started to appreciate how many bad knives there were in my life.
I'm glad I can help with that.
Yes, you helped with that. You helped with pens, specifically. You have a very good pen, the Tool pen, I believe it is, and I love how it writes. Doesn't fit in my hand well. I've accepted that this isn't something I found, but I've accepted this week, is that the Pilot G7 clickable pen, since 6th grade
Gel
when
pen.
it came out, it's been
Classic gel pen, right?
Yes. One of back in the day when gel pen was a way to market something like new and exciting, like you came to Office Depot, get excited. which I was because it was the beginning of the school year, so I was very excited.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and
Office supplies.
yeah, it's not. You didn't get excited going to office supply stores at
I
the
did.
beginning.
That's why I agreed with you.
Okay, all right. Well, I didn't know. Just like the snort that you made, I wasn't sure.
No, you're just terrible at phrasing these as anything that would make any sense.
I know. I did say
It's like almost like you don't really think
bigger.
it through before you say it sometimes.
No, I
It's
do.
like you hadn't written it down first or anything.
I mean, I can. Oh, I can.
So you're excited. I'm the same way.
G4.
G4?
Pilot. The pilot, not G4. That is
Pilot,
a
not
force.
G4.
Not G4. No, the G7 clickable gel pen. And but I found this week that there is a specific size of Play-Doh that or quantity of Play-Doh that fits perfectly in my hand that you can't
What kind of paper do you
buy.
use that on?
What kind of paper do I use?
When you're like
Play-Doh
writing
on?
longhand, I guess you're using Play-Doh. No, we pivoted now from there's a pen you used to like, and now we're talking about
These
Play-Doh.
are just things. These are just things that fit perfectly in my hand. That makes sense.
Yeah, sorry.
That makes sense. There's things that fit in my hand.
Strikes me that you could grab whatever amount of Play-Doh you needed for it to fit straight in your hand.
Yeah, and I was living.
And now you won't have to. You don't have to fret
ignorance.
about that. Now you know how many grams of Play-Doh you
wasn't.
need.
No, I wasn't fretting about
You
it.
weren't
I'm
fretting
saying
about it.
I just didn't realize that there was a perfect amount that unfortunately is only available to retailers, and so now it's just
The amount is only available to retailers?
the
Are you talking about the little guys, those little multi-packs?
yeah
Yeah, those are great.
they're
Those are great. Like if you're, one of the things, one of the numerous things I miss about Walgreens. Well, just one thing I always thought was neat about Walgreens in general is like wherever you go, there's a lot of like I would say like stuff your kid can play with in a hotel room. So like for like $10 or less, you can get like this great little like 6 or 8 pack or whatever of tiny Play-Doh. That's really fun. You can get a little Lego set that you could put together at like a desk while you watch Fantastic Mr. Fox or whatever, right? I think this. Let me ask you real quick in passing. Were you a Play-Doh fan as a kid? Did you play with it as a kid?
No, I preferred Silly Putty, and that
those
should have
seem
been
so different to me.
They absolutely are, and it should have been an early indicator that I would have strong opinions about phone cases because Play-Doh. I will say I enjoyed the final results of Play-Doh, but it wasn't nearly as fun to actually play with. The same way, looking at something pretty, like yes, nice.
All of those toys
I don't
though
wanna touch
suffer
it.
from a similar problem, which is they get dirty.
Yes,
And the reason I think of that in particular is because of Silly Putty. Silly Putty, which I played with a lot as a kid too, when I had it. That was a big stocking stuffer when I was a kid. Get an egg of Silly Putty. And I always enjoyed them. I would do make the comic, from the comic pages, the impression you could do, or you can make it bounce. But if you did start using it as a bouncy ball, you're going to suffer from the things off which it bounces. You know what I mean? Your kitchen floor is not as clean as you think, and the Silly Putty tells the story.
I
You flex.
agree, and I know maybe I'm not a scholar on this topic. I thought I was, but that was the appeal of Silly Putty to me was you can then clean it off, and reuse it, and it didn't get all it didn't tell the
You can get some of it out, but it would
floor.
eventually. I don't know. Maybe I was just extra hard on Silly Putty, but there's a point where it lost its stickiness, like it got so much detritus in it, or like flecks of whatever that you couldn't get out. But no, I thought Silly Putty is a clever idea. I don't know the history of Silly Putty, but I'll bet it's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's like a sticky notes kind of thing, like where Silly Putty they thought it would be for one thing, but it ended up being another.
That's how I imagine the newspaper situation went, where like what if my headcanon now, someone was like, all right, we need a way to transfer the ink from newspaper.
Yeah, right. You say, well, that's not, and it's backwards. That's not going to work.
Uh-oh.
But like a Slinky, I mean, I wonder if it was at just like a certain point in the 60s. I don't know the history of the Slinky, but that's another one where it's like the idea of a Slinky that if you only knew it from TV commercials, you would think it's a thing mainly for making it walk down the stairs. And they eventually, when I was a kid, had it in the song. What walks downstairs alone or in pairs and makes a slinkity sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky. You know that song? But
I do. Oh.
But mainly I think of a Slinky as a thing to untangle that you can't untangle.
No.
I could never
Please
untangle
do the
a
song
Slinky.
again. Please do the song again.
I can't do it like the lady in the ad. What walks down, let's see, 3. What walks downstairs alone or in pairs and makes a slinkity sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky. It's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun, it's a wonderful toy. It's Slinky, it's Slinky. It's fun for a girl or a boy. It's fun for a girl or a boy.
Thank you.
I had to look up the lyrics. No, I didn't.
Still.
No, I didn't. I didn't have to look up the lyrics. No, didn't have to look up the lyrics at all.
I would have believed it.
Alex, everyone knows it's Slinky. Hey, who made a mess in here? Everyone knows it's Slinky.
Not Slinky.
Hey, who made popcorn and didn't clean their dish in the office kitchen? Everyone knows it's Slinky. It's like Not Me, in the Family Circus comics, which you could get a reverse image of if your silly putty wasn't too dirty or full of detritus.
Detritus. I like repeating words now on the show, I think.
Yeah.
Decorous.
I'll try and use fewer. Or if you like, I'll even try and use less words.
Okay, that's another.
More news and less Nessman.
Do you have? I can go on with my list forever. Do you have anything that fits perfectly in your hand? You were not excited.
This is what you have?
Oh, I mean, I have.
You were so excited about this challenge, and I was like, what the fuck does this mean? And you said, phones. And so, anyway, the idea was, it's mainly about how you... Sorry?
No, I mean, I have I do have a list of things that I actually made my list of things that I was like, I use this all the time. Does it indeed actually fit in my hand the right way? Most of the time the answer is yes, because I was already weird. But I think something changed about my hand. Field notes, I've had this feeling for a while. Something has happened to my hand. I can't hold them the way I used to or something. They don't fit exactly right.
Maybe you should get a pop socket.
The no. This week, Merlin, it was very exciting. A new pop socket was launched completely. Well, they say completely flat. So if you were to say put it on a MagSafe flat. Yeah, if you were to put it on a MagSafe charger, then it's
physicists out there. They're going to have qualms with that.
That's why I said they say completely flat.
Oh, sorry,
maybe they have a new physicist on staff who's talked to Grok a long time and has discovered a new form of math. I don't know.
Physicist talks to Grok for a long time.
Yes.
What is Grok? Is that like a it's an AI thing, probably, right?
Yes, I believe that's yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so new pop socket came out. That's cool.
It would be if it was in stock everywhere. Casey List was like, oh, look at this pop socket. It's totally flat. You put it on a charger, it'll still charge. Go try it out.
Oh, neato.
Like,
that's cool.
I have.
You're frustrated because it's not in stock anywhere.
Sold out everywhere. Apparently people pre-ordered it, and I didn't know you could pre-order things from the Apple Store other than like iPhones or the big things. So that was my own personal challenge.
Maybe you'll get one eventually, huh?
One day.
Yeah.
One can dream.
Till then, you find some way to muddle along without a flat pop socket.
No.
No.
Well, it still pops out.
Yes, it does because it's perfectly flat.
Yeah, it's in the name.
It's literally on just one plane. It's 2-dimensional. It's literally flat.
They never said literally. I never said literally, but I said completely. And I also said, they said completely.
And do you like the way that fits in your hand, Alex? Well, like a pop socket. Feels good in your hand? Is that an example of one?
When it's popped out, but you can't put it anywhere when it's not popped out. It's very frustrating.
What's that mean? Oh, because it's not flat.
Totally popped out? Yeah. No,
okay.
It's not, that's not a decorous situation. Then it's a different time. We're in a different place, but it used to be when I saw a pop socket, I assumed that someone was making some sort of TikTok or reel or some sort of short form content. So
That's
I was
what I
pop
always
socket.
assume when I see a pop socket. I'm always seeing pop sockets, and that's always what I assume.
I'm saying,
No, I know a
it was
reel, a
different
jig, a
time,
strathspey, any of
time.
the
Short
Scottish and
form
Irish
videos.
dances. Yeah. People
You
are always posting their strathspeys and jigs.
you think millennials like to stand in line?
Oh,
but
I just think it's funny to talk about obscure kinds of Scottish dance
darn it.
because I could care less about Instacart or whatever it's called.
The only reason I care about
No.
those
But
things
it's
is
nice to.
because I
No,
do not want to
I'm sorry. I'm being a
be in
meanie
them.
because you're off your fucking nut this week. It's super hard to
No.
follow, and I have not found many things that fit perfectly in my hand, but I would say there are things that fit nicely in my hand or that feel good in my hand. But as far as perfectly, I'm not sure anybody's hand is perfect for that much.
Well, that's why it's a difficult challenge, and
Yes.
I'd say that you peanut buttered, but that's all
You
right.
see, I peanut buttered why?
Because you didn't find something that fit perfectly.
Oh.
But that's okay. It's
That's not
all
really
right.
how the challenge works, though. The challenge is to do the challenge. It's not to succeed at the challenge. It's to do the challenge. So, in other words, I should not have stopped spending every second of every day until I found something that literally fit perfectly in my hand, according to your weird rules of this challenge.
No, you could accept that. Oh, I will not complete this challenge.
Oh,
have
I
not
see.
been
Oh, yeah, I
successful.
guess I peanut buttered,
I will
man. Sorry.
get-
I
I
tried,
will get
but
0 points
Okay.
and thank them for it, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not completing a challenge. It happens to all of us. Some more than others, but that's okay.
cool.
I have made a list of 7 Taskmaster references that you haven't gotten, and I am pleased with myself.
Great. Did you want to share those now, or do you want to talk more about things that I did wrong?
No, I want to hear the things that don't fit perfectly.
No,
in
it's
your
okay.
hand, but
No,
fit
do the
nicely.
Taskmaster things.
No.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Talk about points. I want to hear about the things that fit nicely in your hand.
I don't have a strong opinion about it. I just, different things. I don't think about stuff that way. I mean, everything I had to say, I said that time where I was talking about how I wish it was easier to use my phone in one hand, like in bed. But sometimes I'll want to watch like a YouTube or really mostly listen to a YouTube thing and maybe watch it a little bit, but I don't want to have to hold it sideways and I don't want to have to put my glasses on. It's a whole thing. When you get older and your body starts being weird, you got to make more accommodations. Then I don't want my hand to fall asleep or my arm to fall asleep. But as far as fitting perfectly, I don't think I have that. There's not even like gloves that I feel fit perfectly. But on the other hand, there are things where I go, oh, that's kind of satisfying. I think sometimes the weight, the heft of something can feel really nice in your hand.
I wish I had a tungsten cube. I've never held one,
Right.
but apparently that has heft. I mean, bits aside,
Yeah.
on Father's Day, I obviously get hyperfixated on this stuff, but it still I guess not surprises me, but it feels like we've made a lot of affordances or progress when it comes to technology and accessibility in regards to software. But when I was hanging out with older relatives and relatives that just have various sorts of disabilities, and man, it does bum me out that we really only have one phone and I'm not asking for a pop socket on the side of an oxygen tank, although that would be cool, but I mean, as simple as somebody sleeping in a bed in a different way, or
Yeah, for
always
sure.
looking at your phone from the side.
No,
I don't know.
I totally know what you mean, and I'm totally on board with calling it a disability angle. The only qualm I have is not with you, but with how not only does disability it's on the one hand, like 80% of the problem with disability is people are terrible to people with disabilities, but the other 20% is like, oh my God, can we stop making this such a fucking sacred cow that's a quote about disabled people and make it more about how about we make this better for everybody? Like, it's become, the disability is a ghetto in so many ways. And we all, people like me will say like, well, I do really think there are improvements to these things that benefit everybody. But, if you scratch past the surface a little bit, a lot of it, I think, does kind of come down to money on a lot of things. But like all the way down to like opening boxes. Like boxes are such a pain in the ass to open. I know this is an old guy thing, whatever, it's fine. But like I'm 60 and like I don't love opening boxes. My mom's 92 and she super doesn't like opening boxes. It's, but it's something where like if you were to make that better for my mom, you would also make that better for me. And whether you think it matters now or not, it would also improve the lives of people who are 12. That there is a, and that's why I say, turning disability into either like a sacred cow or something to be like made fun of is a terrible idea. And I wouldn't make that seemingly false dichotomy, except it is something that a lot of people do, which like on the one hand, there's like this, oh my God, disability and disabled people are this extremely special group, and people get real touchy on other people's behalf, which I get. Even though if you become that sort of person, you can pretty easily turn almost anything into what you call a disability and then chide people about it. Well, how about instead of that, like, great, now you've controlled the use of that word. Good job. Hope that helped. But whereas I'm more likely to say like, hey, yeah, just put in ramps. Give me all the ramps. Do all the things. There are very few things that help somebody who could use the help that don't also end up helping everybody else. It isn't like, there's Braille only versions of everything and people feel left out of that. You know what I mean? I don't know if Braille's even a good example, but I just think that ease of use, and, this is a conversation people were having a lot more 20 years ago. I feel like in the time of the early days of user experience design and Don Norman stuff, and to some extent, even Jakob Nielsen stuff, one of the things I thought was so neat about getting HTML that works and validates is that there's benefits to that for everybody, starting with the designer and the CSS developer, all the way up through somebody who uses what they used to call a JAWS reader, like to read a page. There's benefits for everybody with that. I get into trouble though because of something like alt text, where it's like, well, I try to do good alt text when it occurs to me. I'm not going to like go out of my way to make great alt text all the time. And when I do make alt text a lot of times, it's not because I'm not trying to be harmful to people who have disabilities, but if it's a visual joke, I'm not going to explain a visual joke. Like if I'm going to use alt text for a visual joke, it's going to have to be for something that plays against what's happening with the visual joke. It's not going to be like, here's Harpo Marx with a dog barking out of his tattoo or something like that. But anyway, I sound like I'm being a crank about people with disabilities or trying to accommodate them. And that's, if the careful listener will realize that's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, let's stop acting like we always have to have one guy in a wheelchair and call that our disabled friend. Like it wasn't that cool 30 years ago when people had a black friend. And it's not that super cool now when we're constantly turning people who are diverse in any way into some kind of a poster child for a thing. That it's just that we have to do that to push that particular rope to like get people to take this stuff more seriously. But at a time of cost cutting and things like that, well, they're going to seal your box the way that's least expensive for them. They're going to ship that phone in the way that is like scales best for them. You know what I mean? There's all those kinds of problems. And I do think people sometimes, it's a bummer to me though, how that conversation about a thing that could help everybody gets turned into this fairly acrimonious issue about, special needs or something like that. And it's like, well, no, I mean, that's nuts. Have you never?
That's why software, I think, has been, and I think Apple specifically has been very successful on the front of calling something accessibility for at least a while, not making a huge.
They don't want to have to support it in a support call. I think they don't want to. There's so much stuff that they stick in. I'm pretty convinced that half of the stuff in accessibility is stuff that like anybody would want. Like, why is reduced transparency inaccessibility?
Yes, exactly. And that
I'm not doing that because I'm disabled. I'm doing that because for a variety of reasons, especially with liquid glass. Like, there's all kinds of reasons I reduce transparency and reduce motion.
I will mention one of my disabled friends who I think in regards to all the great disabled,
You don't really consider me
but
a
my
friend.
friend who's blind, especially it was specifically in regards to alt text when it was a very the people who use alt text had a lot of opinions about it, and he's like, you know what, if you guys are going to perform, at least make it a good performance. And that just that stuff.
The thing I'm always thinking of is, and this is maybe a careless way to think about it, but this does assume a certain amount of the same kind of decent HTML that would lead to good alt images. Like, is there not a tool out there where you can right click or the equivalent for an unsighted person? Isn't there a way you can right click on something and get the equivalent of alt text? Does that not exist? Because that would be like one of the first shortcuts I build.
I guess I'm
because then also
just
to put a point on that, that means I get the kind of alt text I want. So if you had built that based on your own kind of prompts, not only would you get to avoid my bullshit, but then you would also get, like, you know, I want you to focus on letters, or I want you to focus on the position of people, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of things. Well, is there one kind of alt text that works? I really doubt it, not least because of space limitations. Like, should you have to read 1,000 characters or something to know what's in the image? Sometimes maybe you just want to know it's two people petting a dog. And maybe sometimes you want to know what breed of dog it is. And I don't know. I don't want to argue about it, but like it's in the rush to perform certain kinds of values. I think sometimes people get a little bit distracted from what it is that actual people actually want or actually need. Mm-hmm. And that's a bummer too.
The reason I say it's because it's like, Alex, obviously this has always been a problem. Like, yes, the reason why it's
in that case, why fix it if it's always been a problem?
Well, the whole, you know, like scaling cost thing, like, yes, guys, I know. It's just that there, I guess what it was not as obvious, and hopefully is becoming more not obvious, but there's a realization that there are a lot of people going down that Walgreens when they exist, and there is just one type of neck brace, and like they're like, okay, come on, like really, like it's just one. You've only got one, and then you go to
right. I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and I think we probably both understand why that is. Like, for the same reason that you can't get every single kind of women's medium blouse from Givenchy at every airport. It's like, well, there's just not enough room for all those SKUs. We have room for one neck brace at this small Walgreens. That's the one people buy the most. It's an 80-20. That's pretty straightforward business decision. If you need something more, you go somewhere else.
Those this isn't an argument. That is what I had just assumed, like, oh, these are it is true of Band-Aids. Like, okay, this is the type of Band-Aid most people want, and I am up my ass about, like, oh no, it's not that I need latex free, but I want the kind that has like the sticky that doesn't give my rash. But like, people often don't buy like therapeutic stuff or any sort of, not any sort of, but you know, the aisle that is, it almost is a performative aisle of like, this is where, you know, the broken people aisle is. And
I don't know about that exactly, but
well, but that's like,
well, can't you put that on almost any aisle if you choose to? Oh, this is the one for bald people.
Yes.
This is the one for people who hate their hair color. This is the one for people who shit or don't shit.
But that's the.
I mean, you could say that about any sub aisle at a Walgreens. This is for people who like to color.
That's why I think it's wild that there's like this performative aisle where it's like we push.
How's that performative? It's a drugstore. Like, you want to be able to buy an ace bandage. If you go to pick up a prescription for your sprained ankle, it would be nice to be able to get an ankle brace, right?
Yes.
Well, how's that performative?
I guess because there aren't a lot of people who are able to go to Walgreens themselves, or even unless you are a
nurse
practitioner, because it doesn't. Yeah, because when I have a family member who has started using adult diapers, and he hates that term, but he's like, honestly, I don't have a better way to say it, so whatever. And it's like, you know what, you're right, Grandpa. And he was like, those things that kids use to hold their phones, and he wasn't talking about pop sockets, but those things that you like place on the side that's almost like an extra little handle. I don't know how to, it's almost like a rubber band on the back.
Could it be kind of like the giant armor you put on an iPad for a kid? Something that gives it more like a way to hold it more?
Yeah.
It's got more handle surface kind of.
And that's sort of, I was like,
and he wants a handle,
look into that, but
for his
I'm not
diaper?
sure. Like, it's like I'm joking, but it was this little thing of like, he's like, okay, someone I think will have to do this for me one day, but right now I can. And like, as I'm losing dignity, at least, and was swearing more than this and saying some things in Polish, but
yeah.
It was a very.
And what was his beef with how did he want it to be? What was the way that he was wishing it was easier to use?
Just that it was easy to almost
to put on or to buy or
to put on,
okay.
like the way that toddlers have because
pull-ups.
I actually, yes, thank you.
Big fan of pull-ups.
They're literally called pull-ups. That's right. Yeah. And the way that, like usability and accessibility is a slider is such that is not like, it's also not, the way you talk that like progress or decline isn't linear. Like there are various, some people do not always need an ace bandage, and that's why the ace bandage isn't in the performative Walgreens aisle. Also, to answer your question, they need that to be
Walgreens aisle. That's funny to me.
You need to stock a certain amount of over-the-counter things to be classified as a pharmacy, and that's part of why.
According to whom?
It depends. It used to be the FDA.
Whoa,
it's
okay.
no longer that.
Okay, sorry. Let's take this over. Start over. So somebody goes to your closest Walgreens, and they are from what government bureau, and they are looking for what problem that needs enforcement because they broke the rule.
I don't
understand what you're saying. Have you ever worked at a drugstore? Because I'm feeling like you haven't.
No, but
it's a very complicated business, especially to run as I worked at one that was a small business. My friend's parents, her folks had a place, and it's a pretty complicated business for a lot of reasons. Like there's all kinds of stuff there's a phrase I started using, honestly, Alex, 20 years ago, and it was with regard to our particular Walgreens, RIP. But the thing I would say is, the thing that's frustrating is that Walgreens has everything you almost need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they've got a bunch of stuff, but none of it is the thing you need. They have so much stuff that is pretty close to the thing you need, but they rarely have exactly the thing you need. And that could be you want like an extra large or purple neck brace or whatever. But often as not, it could just be also that like, oh man, you have this candy, but it's only in this particular kind of bag at this particular time of year. And, I think I always come back to this might be too much of a skeleton key, but I think to understand today's contemporary drugstore, the point I'm going to end up trying to make is about profit per cubic inch, but the example I'm going to give is gift cards. Like there's a reason there are so many gift cards for sale, at least at our Walgreens and similar. Mm-hmm. Like there's a whole kiosk like right kind of near the checkout. Plus there's like a whole section. Like, you described the, I don't love that phrase either, adult diapers. There used to be one section of the store is kind of like the embarrassing middle part of your body section of the store, where it was all like, period supplies and douches and all that kind of stuff right next to the wrapping paper for some reason. But I mean, gift cards, I think, represent a pretty good example of profit per cubic inch. Like, and this is a huge deal in grocery stores. It's why changes you've seen in grocery stores, one of the changes you've seen in grocery stores over the years is that they're so heavily optimizing for how much profit they can make per cubic inch. And like, we're not going to put out like a thing this big that is so heavy and costs so little, because that could be a bunch of gift cards. We don't need to sell all the gift cards. If we sell 5 of these gift cards, we just got free money.
Mm-hmm. what I actually didn't even realize until you mentioned it that how there used to be like an entire section of our Walgreens that was like the little chip section, I suppose, that
Little
has
chips.
the little chips like
Chips you
where
eat? Crisps?
yeah, little chips, the little salty snack and little
Yeah.
candy area.
Yeah.
That's
You can buy Scottish cookies. You can get Funyuns. That kind of thing.
yeah, and there used to be kind of two at our Walgreens, and now one is all gift cards in a way that
Oh, right.
it's a big empty, mostly empty space, except for the wall that is lined with gift cards on top of or next to the like three carousels of gift card type things.
Right.
And
think about how I don't know what the Walgreens company makes off of each one of those, but it basically all they need to do is scan a piece of plastic and tell you it's not returnable, and they've just made X number of dollars for something the size of a credit card, which is pretty phenomenal compared to, say, I'm not going to get into dollar stores, but I'm trying to think like maybe discount laundry detergent, or in my case, like if you bought like generic seltzer, that's probably not a big earner for them. You know what I mean? In terms of like all told, the weight, the size, the restocking, the chance that it's going to break and blah, 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 blah. Whereas a gift card, like what's the worst thing that can happen? I don't know. And it sounds cynical, but I think, and I'm deliberately making that kind of extreme example to say, well, maybe that's why they don't have 7 kinds of neck braces.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I doubt that it's because
they.
they hate, Charlie Kirk or whatever. I bet it's just because they only have so much space.
It that is another reason that it does bum me out. It is weird that our neighborhood Walgreens has become sort of like the neighborhood local pharmacy, in that it compared to the CVS down the block, it has that is inside the Target. It is far more specified, and especially the pharmacy techs, like they know. I'm sure like it's not like they don't know, but they're however they know to make the most money for like that specific area. They are stocking more allergy medicine or more like behind the counter stuff, like the good stuff, the D and not the fake stuff. And it's not exactly specialized, but like it fits the market of a North Side wheezing nerdy neighborhood much more than the CVS down the street. And
okay.
I can only imagine a world in which like you knew your pharmacist's name, and they always knew that Tony, I don't know, liked his
Right.
specific not brand of Tylenol. I don't know.
I know what you mean. We get all our prescriptions from a local place, and we have that relationship with them. It's really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're very cool. It's a tough racket, though. I think I think it's probably a pretty tough racket.
The difference between like grocery stores and pharmacies versus drugstores. Yeah. I hope that there's a good YouTube essay out there, because I can barely a good YouTube essay about it somewhere. I want
what?
The difference between how pharmacies work and grocery stores work, other than just we need to make the most money, but like learning about dollar stores versus something like a grocery store, it breaks your brain a little bit, because kind of like, oh, people hold things in a different way. It's like, this is a different universe that I didn't think of. Not because I don't go to.
Well, maybe just because you don't have exposure to it. That's my case.
I'm interested in the stuff that we do have exposure to, but not like there's
what?
the like something like a dollar store. But I just thought it was.
What I'm saying is we don't have those here.
Okay.
We don't have like, or like maybe to put it a different way. If we have those,
right.
I'm not seeing those. When I see John Oliver going off his nut about drug or like gas station drugs, like kratom and all of these different things, like if those are around, I don't see them. Like all these weed drinks, I see them at my weed store, but I don't just see them around. Maybe I just don't go out enough. But
I don't think so.
Apparently that kratom stuff is not very good for you.
It's bad. It's super, super bad. And I was not exposed to that either because,
but again, it's a form of self-medication for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I meant though. I'm like, wait, you're talking about this? I'm like, yeah, I've seen it in like dispensaries and I see smoke shops. But even like gas stations in the city are relatively small, and then.
But that's very profitable. I mean, you ever ask yourself why there's so many like 5-hour energy style things? Like they're real little.
The guy at the 7-Eleven by my house, he is very upset about how Zyn is in is a circle, whereas he could always pack more cigarettes in.
Circles. Yeah, that's such a good point. Yeah, right. That was why shipping.
Like, yeah, man.
One of the million reasons shipping containers are a big deal is like barrels are not efficient. Pause. Stop. It is 50:24. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm having a morning. Do you want to stop and come back, or do you want to just, we'll just let it run? What do you want to do?
We can let it run after you use the bathroom.
Okay, I'll keep it running, and I'll just mute. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll go quick as I can. Bye.
No worries.
Bye.
I'm going to play with this Play-Doh now. Oh, it is a little harder to open. Like, it fits in my hand perfectly, but I can't open it perfectly. This is a satisfying. Oh, it really is satisfying where I can open it and then, you put a little clump of this Play-Doh in your hand, or specifically my hand, and I can present it to my niece in a very dignified way, like, hey, I am an adult, and here is the amount of Play-Doh that I deem appropriate, versus the large tubs that, large tub, that's a problematic cartoon character that sounds adorable. You have to kind of scoop it out, and then there's a weird sort of residue on the side, and I think they look at me with shame and like, oh God, we're related to this. Can't even pull out the Play-Doh in a good way so that it fits through the little Play-Doh strainer. One of them can't talk, but I know that is what she's thinking. And yes, if anyone's hearing this, I am opening another box of the Play-Doh that was shipped to me, the kind that is only available to retailers. I don't actually know the term. I do know the term, but I can't think of it. But it's, I kind of wonder if, like a place like Restaurant Depot, where you need a membership card of, yes, I own a restaurant or a beverage facility, and you can go and get like the cool bulk snacks. I don't know if there is a place where you can go if you're a toy retailer, any sort of retailer, and be like, yes, I would like
wait, what are you doing?
Amount.
Are you talking to Matt?
No, I was talking about Play-Doh and the economics
we're gonna cut all
of
that
toys.
Out.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Then what are you doing?
I
just amusing yourself?
Just kept talking. Yeah, I was playing with Play-Doh and talking about the dignity of Play-Doh and the judgment I receive from toddlers when I can't scoop an appropriate amount of Play-Doh out of a big jug that's typically sold at like a Target, because you always want more than a little bit.
Can we get back to recording the show now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this should leave that all in. I love a Play-Doh anecdote. Oh. Yeah,
it's a funny thing. I remember learning that about barrels, because barrels are round, and that leaves a lot of space. And what's really good is hexagons. You can fit a whole bunch of hexagons, but then you get into hexagons and octagons. You get octagons, everything looks like Battlestar Galactica. But with hexagons, you can act like you're a bee.
we would be be a lot better off. But aren't hexagons difficult to create, and that's why most boxes are boxes? Because barrels are barrels because they're easier to move, right?
It's the least, according to CGP Grey, it's the least wax required for the most structure.
He's a Bonnaby. Is that true? That's incredible.
It's starting to sound like maybe
Jesus.
you haven't watched the video I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't think I have. I've seen
Vital
hexagons
you watch it.
are
It's
the
called
bestigons.
It's called Hexagons or the Bestigons is the name of the video.
Oh, I missed the B part.
Yeah, this is a thing that happens sometimes. Yeah, I don't have that many things that fit great in my hand. I had friends with the drugstore. It's difficult. Yeah. There's also just this thing that's not what we're talking about. It's just a thing to bitch about. But like, whenever I find myself like turning to like, oh, the old days were better type stuff. A lot of times the way things used to be better is just before people figured out what they could get away with, or when they didn't realize what an unsustainable false economy they were in. Like, the DTC products that sponsored a lot of my shows had like ridiculously low prices on things that, comparatively. You know what? I don't want to talk about this. It's too sad. Let's talk about something happy.
Like a Casper mattress with just, what is it? Right. Just the right.
The thing I didn't want to talk about?
Spring and bounce. I didn't know you didn't want to specifically talk about a mattress.
Oh. Let's talk about mattresses. Hey, everybody.
Well,
today's episode of Do by Friday is brought to you in part by Casper. Casper, they've developed a new kind of hybrid mattress. It's got just the right sink and just the right bounce. It's a combination of latex foam and memory foam.
We had a challenge years ago where we tried to find the best pillow, and a thing that was like, there are way more pillows, and again, I know that this is like obvious, like pillows are easier to stock than a mattress and whatever, and even the direct to consumer stuff.
You're a regular supply chain guru, aren't you?
Well, I think
you're saying smaller, lighter things are easier, huh?
Yeah, but even like the amount of whatever type of materials you can hoard.
It's a new kind of hybrid mattress.
The hybrid, like the. But there still don't seem. Where are all the pillows? I still can't really find a good pillow. And it's those. The reason I'm trying to. I don't think it is necessarily depressing, because there are certain things where something like I'll go back to phones, but because they are so common, and now are also so common in film productions for not just using but shooting
pillows,
them.
Phones or pillows or what?
I'm talking about phones, and how much better the amount of filming equipment, and there was a realization of, okay, specific types of screws, obviously the best, because then we need there's only one screwdriver, it's easier, whatever, but
standardizing.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
that was a big deal with railroad tracks, honestly.
I know, I'm just I thought I had a funny question, and then I didn't.
I'm trying so hard to say this. I really am. There's so many different kinds of phones, and they use them for movies, so that's why there's different kinds of screws and pillows.
There's a different, like, those not custom, but the
screws,
type
pillows,
of,
or phones.
The screws that hold the somewhat customized tripods that hold phones. It used to be like, tripods used to be very standardized because there used to be very few types of cameras,
right? And
there would be standard types of screw and a standard amount of tension. Actually, I do kind of miss this, but it used to be. Sorry for the used to be, but it was like, okay, you screw this in 5 times. And it wasn't just to hold old, like, this certain stagehand or gaffer who knew
I think that's called the pitch, which is like the amount of threads, like the angle and the number of them. And I know what you mean though. Like, it would be nice to know that if I ever buy, because again, if you don't buy one tripod in your life, if you're a gaffer or something, or whatever it's called. But like, it'd be nice to know that when I buy this screw, I could take it out of the pack in the dark and screw it in and go dip, 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 and know it's in exactly the perfect way, right? And these will all work and interact with interchangeably with each other, right? That kind of thing.
And more equipment has become specialized, but still standardized around specific types of screws. And I'm forgetting the names because I have forgotten the certain millimeters and the types.
You're talking about a quarter-inch screw that comes up for a camera mount. Yeah.
Yes. But there's even more specialized ones for sound poles and stuff like that. But as the equipment, like the technology changed and some of the specialized equipment changed, like that still, it was more devices were built around the easy and accessible standards because everybody can understand, all right, this is the type of screw we use, and it isn't a barrier to entry. What's a barrier to entry is the changing amount of equipment, or in some cases, people who are getting older, like Spielberg, the amount of equipment that has this, I do not know if this is true, but like he will has it changed equipment on set because he can't see, like it's more of a preference. That's not important. But as someone's preferences change because their body is changing, the thing that is less than like a grumpy complaint is, I don't know, like people who have gotten older and have realized, okay, maybe my youth was wasted on my youth, but I can change that, and I can change how I was grumpy about only using this specific one type of thing. And that's, in conclusion, that's why phone cases should be better. I kind of thought that you would have, is there a standardized thing that you really enjoy that is always available and is always at a Walgreens, like a certain threaded type thing or threaded thing, a type of screwdriver?
Maybe. I mean, nothing that I look forward to getting, but, and again, our Walgreens is closed, but time was, getting one of those adapters that adapts like a 3-prong to a 2-prong electrical thing. I'm trying to think of examples of that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ones, but I could probably go through, especially my Amazon list, and find examples of things like that. But yeah, I tend to prefer stuff that don't require a lot of thought, effort, focus, strength, vision, hearing. I like things that let me just be it. No, I'm being honest. It's like, I think all of us prefer things that let us just be a dummy.
I guess I am really simping for Apple today. The whole just...
You're what? You're simply for Apple?
Simping.
That's a gerund?
I am being very much of an Apple enthusiast today, whereas the Just Works campaign that like Apple nerds talk about as in a nostalgic way.
I bet people could barely even name which decade that's in. But anyway, continue. You're simping for Apple. You're simply for Apple. And they have a lot of movies are now made with phones that may or may not have pop sockets. And it's nice to get a screw at the Walgreens that'll fit into your Charlie Kirk.
God.
Back into the left.
The change of different equipment and for used on film sets, I'm saying, like the changes.
And that has to do with Steven Spielberg aging.
I was just mentioning Steven Spielberg as one of the aging directors who is like, oh, okay, we should probably...
Oh, this is something he's talked about?
No. People who have supposedly worked for him.
Okay.
That's why I say, I don't know. It's not like he did an interview about, I can't see very well anymore. Although that would be interesting. Like that, I mean, like you just mentioned Amazon, and I do really like that I don't have to go to, go and dread going into some store and knowing that, like, yeah, I know I won't be able to fit into what they think is a medium size underwear, right. And not going to happen. I always try on
all my underwear.
Yeah.
Can I please have 6 more mediums? Sorry, you should go.
That's 6 more.
Sir. Just give me 6 more mediums, sir. I'm starting to really get the sense you're not actually here to buy underwear.
All right. Am I? This is something I also kind of wonder about, because I'm no longer exposed to it. Like like changing rooms, and that can't be profitable, right? Like someone in there not actively buying clothing, but just trying it on. And I don't know. It's as someone who just kind of hated the whole concept, because I don't want to try on.
Yeah, sure. No. I feel you. Yeah.
But like having, especially in places that weren't like boutique stores. Target. Yeah, Target has a lot of changing rooms still. And that sort of surprises me, maybe because I'm like, that doesn't seem like a cynical thing. Like, you need to actually try a thing and not buy 7 on them on Amazon and return probably.
Well, I bet they're
7.
also smart enough to know which kinds of things end up benefiting them in ways that may not be obvious to us. I mean, I guess my take would be, well, maybe that's because people, first of all, there's not very well-made clothes, and not very well-made clothes tend to not fit very well. And there tend to be variations in quality and size. And I wonder if part of the feeling is you bring in your kids or your whatever, it could just be you, but you go in and you have a bunch of clothes, go try these on, and then people buy more clothes because they can try on more clothes. I don't know.
And that's what's interesting. Like, what's the threshold between clothes that are, you have to try on so many because none of the fits are standard and they're like all weird, versus a like middle of the road, for me, a middle of the road.
I think it goes
like
for everywhere. I mean, it could be, I'm using old names here, but Target, Gap, Bergdorf Goodman. Trump loved that dressing room. But any of those places, you can, it's beneficial to try things on. But no, but I take your point though. It does seem like, well, first of all, like, do they need that? Like, that's an amount of space that they could probably use for something else. The first thing that comes to my mind is stuff like security. Like, they must have to like kind of really pay attention to what's going on with changing rooms for a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. Not least because people might be more likely to, put something on and wear it out, but also, just for the kinds of things that happen. There was a guy, I don't want to get into it, but there was a guy associated with my former college, part of the new regime of creeps. He ran into some trouble with dressing rooms down in Sarasota. Ran into some trouble there.
Oh.
He loved, he'd come in sometimes and then he'd escalate, he'd come in and help him out.
Oh, God, that sounds, it's a bit on family.
Public Ivies, that's funny. It's public Ivy, they used to call it.
That's part of the reason why a lot of dressing rooms or try on, I don't know what they're actually called.
Keep going. You'll find the human word.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny. Also, it's not depressing. I'm saying like middle of the road type stores that are more expensive than a Target, but less expensive than some boutique shop where part of a dressing room is the experience. Like that is how they sell something, by telling, oh my God, that looks amazing. Like learning about the wedding dress. I just had a friend who had worked at both a David's Bridal, which is kind of a men's warehouse of, not exactly a men's warehouse, but like you can find an amazing wedding dress there, but it's mostly
they do sales or my ex-wife used to work at a place that did rentals. They would do bridal rentals, which was kind of a new idea in the 90s.
Oh, I didn't know that was even still a thing. That makes sense. You know what you don't want to do? The thing is, if you're ultimately getting married, God bless you because you're pregnant, you've got to tell the lady fitting your dress that this is just the beginning. Don't hide that from your fitter. Yes, that's what I was going.
A lot of the
going to
rental, a
say.
lot of the rental market and bridal dresses were women who thought they could kind of play it off legit.
Part of this
In
the
month
selling
5.
pitches at the more high end places, like you get training of how to interact with the guests, and part of that is how do you
Yes.
suss out whether or not they may or may not lose a lot of weight.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like,
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
like I don't even have a good example because it's so
I think we just gave the
nuanced.
perfect one: a pregnant lady getting married.
It's like a used car lot type of thing. The way they have to like both kind of hawk the.
I would not buy a dress at a used car lot.
It,
That's just me. Regardless of the trade-in value of the car or the dress or the pop socket or
it
the
seems
screws.
like they would be good at it after a
filmmaking
couple
phones.
weeks. I mean,
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll turn the other way. You never know.
in this economy.
All right. I'm gonna hit the bell. Woo!